Hi everybody, Laura here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you featuring the latest Stamptember collaboration. This time we're featuring honeybee stamps. And the stamp set is called On My Mind. So I'm going to start with embossing. Going to be doing a lot of embossing today, a lot. So buckle in. Do you like heat embossing? I mean, it's kind of a love-hate type of thing. Like I love the results. But if you're not careful, you can get some warping. And I'll give you a couple tips along the way. So first thing I'm doing is embossing this floral wreath image in clear. So I'm using Simon Says Stamp clear embossing powder. Mostly I'm just focusing on the floral foliage part of the wreath. And this is how I'm going to color in the image, which is my favorite way to color in images whenever I can. I emboss it in clear and I go over it with distress inks. Today I'm using that brand new CRACKLING CAMPFIRE distress ink color, which is fantastic, especially when you're going for a fall feel, which is what I am going for. I want to do a fall wreath. So I've got CRACKLING CAMPFIRE, squeezed lemonade. Right now I'm doing a little candied apple, and I thought, why not? Why not? Let's do a little wilted violet for fall, you know? And then for a little greenery, I pulled out crushed olives. So this will fill in the rest of the spots left over. And you got to be careful though with green, you know, because if you get it in too much with the purple and the yellow and the orange, you can get a muddy look, but you just be careful. So once I get that all done, I go over it with a dry paper towel. Now, this is a labor of love, so you got to kick it old school. Fussy cutting is the way to go. I don't mind doing it every now and again. But you just rotate that cardstock and you take your time, you breathe through it, and you fussy cut that swag like nobody's biz. Back to the embossing. Again, this time we're going fancy, we're going schmancy. I'm embossing the wreath in antique gold. I was feeling pretty hoity-toity because normally, I'll be honest with you, I usually only use clear and white embossing powder, but I thought, you know what, let's kick it up a notch for Stamptember. Okay, so I pulled out Simon Says Stamp antique gold embossing powder, and that is the fancy schmancy that I needed. I took one of the nested circle dies that's just slightly smaller than the wreath image, and I die cut a window opening. This will frame my sentiment. Now for the background, I chose some colors of solid color cardstock that kind of coordinated with my emboss resisted leafy swag. And I cut each of the strips to 3/4 of an inch thick. And it's a mixture of brands. This came out of my scrap bin drawer. I think some of these cardstocks are Concordonite. There's some that are Simon Says Stamp. And there's some that I just don't know. But I just chose colors that give that warm fall feel. And as you can tell, I didn't measure exact, so I needed to add a little green. That's okay. It still coordinates. Flip it over on the back side. Take the paper trimmer and snip off the excess. And boom, you have a stripy background. Now here's where it gets exciting. I'm going to emboss the sentiment right onto that stripy background. So I'm getting the lay of the land here, seeing where I want to go. By the way, I got to tell you, there are some gorgeous sentiments in this On My Mind stamp set. I chose to keep it simple. Hello. It works for any occasion. I'm going to emboss the hello right onto the stripy background. I know it's a risk. It's risky. You know why? Because if you're not careful, you're going to end up with a warpy card base. So here's what I try to do. Get your heat gun as hot as blazes. Get it hot. Like, I turn it on and I count to 30. That's what I do. I count to 30 and then I heat the embossing as quick as I can. Like just go over it like 1, 2, 3. Not too much. That will reduce the warpage. But I'll tell you what, no matter what you do, there's always a little bit of warping that just chaps my khaki. So I take it and I set it under some heavy book, something heavy. Let it chill out, let it flatten out. And, you know, I have heard of some people, they even go so far as to run it through their die cutting machine. But, you know, you got to protect it. Put a piece of cardstock on the top and the bottom so it doesn't get any scratchy marks, but you can run it through and that will flatten it out. Lickety split, I'll tell you that much. I am assembling my card, popping everything up, and I went ahead and embossed another coordinating sentiment. It says sweet friend, and then to finish it off, a little embellishment with some sparkling clear sequins here and there, tucking them in if I can. And this card is finished. Make sure and check out all the other beautiful examples using this new Stamptember collaboration featuring honeybee stamps for Simon Says Stamp. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.